Learn everything you need to start making a serious income with e-commerce. 2 of 3. Drilling down in your niche. Once you have found a niche you believe has a lot of potential for both profitability and passion, you should try to drill down even further to create the tightest niche possible. For example, let's say you've decided you want to concentrate on the outdoor hobby niche. That might include things like camping, backpacking, hiking, hunting, and fishing. But there are thousands of popular stores that specialize in this area, so it would be quite difficult to compete. To have an all-encompassing store in a broad niche like this, you'd have to source thousands of products and make sure the prices stay updated. It would be a tremendous amount of work for just one person or even a small team. Instead, it's good to focus on a single area. It could be the area you are most interested in or the one you believe will be most profitable, if you're still interested in it. But it's important to drill down to the tightest niche you can without going so tight that it would be difficult to find an audience or source products. For example, instead of outdoor hobbies, you could drill down a bit to fishing. That may still be too broad, so you could drill down to fly fishing. That is pretty good, but you might even go a little further to specialize in a specific type of fly, or maybe into fly tying supplies for people who want to tie their flies for fishing. Keep drilling down until you reach a point when you can no longer find enough products to source or interest in the niche. You'd be surprised just how far you can go in many niches. For example, blacksocks.com specializes in, you guessed it, black socks. They also have other products that they expanded into, such as colored socks and underwear, but they started out selling black socks and have been wildly successful. Now let's talk about platforms. E-commerce platforms compared. There are dozens of popular e-commerce platforms out there, and it can be tricky to choose between them. With so many out there, which one is the right one? Well, there are only 2 major options for most people. Shopify. WooCommerce. Yes, there are lots of other platforms out there, and you are free to choose another one if you prefer, but the 2 listed above have the most support, which will make it easier to find the right theme and plugins to meet your needs. So, which one should you use? If you are a beginner, I would suggest Shopify. The platform does not require you to have a separate hosting account, or install any scripts, or do any major admin. It also has some interesting plugins that let you source products from AliExpress, which can make it very simple to set up a shop with dropshipping, so you won't have to have warehouse space or worry about packing and shipping. There are also tons of themes available. Many are free, but most require an additional one-time payment to use because individual creators, not Shopify itself, make them. The biggest drawback of Shopify is that it costs a minimum of $29 per month for their basic version. They have a light version, too, but it is mainly for selling on your blog, Facebook or other social platforms, not for creating your website. This cost makes it prohibitive for many beginners. WooCommerce, by contrast, is free. It's slightly more complex to use, because you did need your hosting account, and you do need to install WordPress because WooCommerce is a plugin for WordPress. But there's plenty of documentation to walk you step by step through the process. Like Shopify, they have plenty of themes available. There are lots of free themes to choose from, as well as additional paid themes if you prefer. They also have pretty much any plugin you could ever need for different types of functionality, but most are paid plugins. WooCommerce will save you money in the short run, but Shopify is a bit easier to use for beginners. If you are already well versed in using hosting companies and WordPress, WooCommerce might be your best option. But if you are more of a beginner, Shopify is probably your best bet. Now let's talk about finding products for your shop. Where you get products will make the difference between making a profit and losing money. Sourcing products for an online shop. After choosing a profitable niche, sourcing products is one of the most critical elements of the potential success of your shop. There are 3 main ways to source products. 1. Buying directly from the manufacturer or a wholesale middleman. 2. Using a dropshipper. 3. Creating your own products. Traditionally, most stores have used the first option. Companies like Walmart purchase most of their products directly from the manufacturer at the lowest possible prices, or they go through a wholesale company that buys from the manufacturer and inflates the price a bit so that they can make their profit. It's always best to buy straight from the manufacturer, if possible, but they often require a lot of business documentation or huge minimum orders, so most smaller stores go through wholesalers. That is the main reason larger stores are often less expensive than smaller ones. If you don't have a lot of money to buy inventory upfront, or you don't want to have to deal with packing and shipping products, you can use drop shipping as your source. With drop shipping, you don't have to worry about keeping inventory on hand or packing and shipping, because the company does all that for you. It's kind of like ordering a product from Amazon and shipping it to someone else as a gift. There are plugins you can use with Shopify and WooCommerce that integrate with various dropshippers to make it easier to handle the orders that come in. Some are even automated. Finally, you can make your own products. That requires the purchase of materials or finding a company to manufacture the product for you so that the cost can be prohibitive in the beginning. But it's often the most profitable option overall. If you want to learn more about sourcing products, I recommend checking out Ecom Smart Start. www.promotelabs.com web link. That is a complete guide to starting your own e-commerce store from start to finish and covers a whole lot of stuff we can't cover in this short series. Watch for my next lesson post in this series, because it's an interesting one. We're going to talk more about developing your product, so stay tuned. Until then,